Today we are taking a look at the BougeRV CRPRO30 Pro. Now, at first glance, this sort of just looks like your ordinary 12-volt fridge. However, you'll see it's plugged in right now, but what's it plugged into? I'll show you guys in a second. It's got some tricks up its sleeve. It's not just your average fridge. Now, starting off with the outside, we'll talk about the construction of the fridge. And it's your average construction, a lot of plastic, nothing wrong with it. It looks fine. It has a bottle opener over here on this side. Got tie-down points and handles on both sides. The top portion has like some little slotted spots for your cans or cups or whatever. It's got a textured side over here. And then up here, you have some instructions and the LCD screen. I'm not sure how clear that's coming out, but it's totally easy to read. You got your power, your switch to normal or eco mode, and then plus or minus on the temperature there. Right now we're in eco, and honestly, I know it's outside right now, so that does take an effect, but even in the Jeep, because I've had it in the Gladiator for, I don't know, I've been testing this thing for about a week now, and even when you're in there, even when it's not on eco, it's not very loud, but for the sake of this video, we will switch this over to max, just so we can get this thing cooling down. The reason I let the fridge get back up to temperature was just to show you guys, we can talk about the sound and everything, and show you some of the cool down stuff. So right now, it just switched over to max, and it's like barely loud. It's not, you can definitely hear it more, but it's not an issue if you're gonna have this in your vehicle. You should be able to sleep with this on if it's near you. But yeah, it kicked up a little bit, so the compressed, it has got your air vents down here. This is where most of the noise is coming from. But yeah, it's not too loud, and I don't think you guys are gonna be able to pick it up on the mic even. That's how quiet it is. But we're gonna talk about the power. What is powering this? So this is what caught my eye when it came to looking at this fridge. So this power cord runs along and it comes in right here. And this little compartment opens. This is the coolest part about this fridge. Has its own power supply in here. You can see we're down to, I don't know if you guys can see that without the glare there, 21%. And you can see the input and the output. So the output is pulling about 40 watts. And we'll pull the power supply out later. It has USB and all sorts of stuff on it. So that just houses in here. And what you guys are not going to believe, because I mean, it's fairly, I mean, it's a decent sized battery, but I feel like it's small. Here's my hand for comparison. Yeah, so we'll talk about that more in a second. But currently here in California, it's about upper 70s, and I've put this guy in the shade whenever possible, and I was able to get right around 30 hours of runtime off the battery alone. And that is what I think is really impressive about this fridge. And keep in mind that was having the fridge set at 36 degrees, not using the freezer function, so just fridge. And so yeah, your numbers are going to vary depending on how cold you have it, and also what season you're in. Because if you guys are in the summer when it's hotter, you're not going to get 30 hours of runtime off of it. But I can't change the weather in which I'm testing this in, so that kind of is what it is. I would expect you to be able to get through a full day though, and by full day I mean like minimum 12 hours, probably more than that, even in the warmer times. But that is the fridge, the outside of the fridge. We'll talk about the inside a little bit. This is we have model information here. This is the 30, which is not actually 30 liters, it's actually 29 liters, but you have some of the ratings there. You have a little cheat sheet for your foods, what temperatures they recommend there. And then the fridge itself, it's definitely smaller inside than what this footprint of this fridge is, but we have an LED light, we have a chain to hold the door open, and a nice seal around the door here. For reference, I have an Arizona iced tea in here just for spatial reference, so you guys can kind of get a gauge at it. This divider is fully removable, so you guys can separate your stuff out, but not a ton of space, if I'm being completely honest. But for how well this fridge works, the runtime off of the battery that I was able to get I was really impressed. Now, when it comes to pricing on this fridge, currently on the website, which I'll have the link in the description, this is going to run you about $500 with the battery. So that's a little steep, but what this lets you do, you can use this just like this as a cooler. It can be used as a cooler. You can take it to the beach. It gives it more versatility than a normal fridge. Albeit, you can run a normal fridge. You can bring your Jackery or your Bluetti or whatever you have for a power supply for your fridge. But what I really like about this is just how compact this is. It just sits in here, and that's it. And it can run off this for a long time. You can turn the screen off too. Usually turn that off so it's lasts a little bit longer. But yeah, that is the overview of the fridge. You also get, your standard fridge stuff here. An important note. So you got your wall outlet here, 110 volt. So for this, when I did that test, I pre-chilled the fridge. So the fridge was chilled beforehand, using this in the house, and then I hooked it up to battery. So that is important to note in that 30-hour test. Then you get an instruction manual, and you get your 12 volt, cigarette lighter for your vehicle. But that's pretty much it for that. I just pulled the battery out, and this is what we have set up on the battery here. So you can charge this via 12 volt here. You got your power. If you hold the power, the LED light will come on. You got USB-A out, and you have a C in or out. So, and obviously your cigarette lighter, your 12 volt, 130 watt max. One thing to note, if I had to have a complaint, which isn't a big deal, but when I was charging this, I used the USB. I charged it, and it does say when it's charging on the screen here, the watts in, and it was only able to charge at about 60 watts, and I had it hooked up to a 100 watt fast charger. So if I had to have a complaint, that would be it. But here's some more specs on the back. 10,000 milliamp hour. So that's what kind of battery we're looking at on this thing. But if you also want to use this just as a portable charger, it's got plenty of juice, so you can do that as well. I think we've covered most everything, but we'll touch on this little cargo area. So it's just got a little hole that the cigarette lighter comes through, and this plug that they give you, it's very short. It's just long enough to get up in there. So it's kind of all you need for that. If you're not using the battery and you're using it as a normal fridge, I don't know what you would store in here, but you would have some storage in there. But yeah, it fits. It didn't really rattle around. I didn't have any issue with that. Also, the rubber feet on the bottom are really good. This fridge does not want to slide. I almost don't need to tie it down when it's in the Jeep. But I mean, if I'm doing off-roading, it's got to be tied down. But for normal use, it's not sliding anywhere. So the rubber feet on this is really good. Maybe one other complaint, if I had to have one other complaint, is tying this down. It's just kind of small on these to get in here. I had to make a little different way that I tied it down. Unlike, some of the other fridges that have bigger handles, you can just hook your ratchet strap through. So very minor complaint there, and very minor complaint on the charging of this. Because what you can do too is, at least in the Gladiator, I have a USB outlet in the back, so I can charge this from the back of the Jeep, which is kind of nice. It's not going to do 60 watts of charging, but it's a way that I can charge this. So that is the BougeRV. I would say very happy with it. A little pricey, but what you get for the price, I think it is well worth it. Yeah, so those are the only nitpicks about the battery, the handles, and then maybe the size. But the size considered, I would trade off having a smaller size for everything that this can do, and I'm very happy with it. And this is probably, because of the battery, going to be, because I can, instead of having to take my Bluetti, I think I have the EB70S, I think is the model, I can just take this, I don't have to worry about that. And this is going to give me plenty of time. So that saves me a lot of space in the cab of the Jeep. So that's the BougeRV. I think I hit about everything, but if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you guys. But yeah, link should be in the description, and there should be a discount code down there as well. And yeah, I think that's it for this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.